Hello guys, it's Ben here from NGB and I'm joined by Charles.
Hello.
Hello, and we're going to talk about Gears of War 4.
Yes, we are. Gears of 4.
Gears of 4, absolutely. So you've been playing it for review, and obviously it's kind of the continuation of the Gears story after the 3 Gears games that there have been. Because let's just not talk about Judgment.
I've said very same in my written review.
So yeah, how have you found it in general, and sort of, if people are fans of the series, are they going to take to Gears 4? How have you found it so far?
How have I found it so far? I'd say that the fans of the series they're gonna pick up this game, and it's like a comfy pair of shoes. You are literally going to feel like you've settled right back into the Gears genre, because you're going to also feel like you've played Gears 1, 2, 3, and 4 many times before. It's not a bad thing by any means. It's literally there's nothing new, as it were. It's doing what it knows best, and it's doing it well.
Okay, so it's not exactly pushing the envelope. It's just sort of staying within its bubble and saying, right, I know what I do it well. Let's just sort of carry on and pick up what made the first 3 games so special. I mean, obviously the thing with Gears was that was the first game where a lot of people sat up and went, oh, these new consoles look quite snazzy.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And do you feel that there's that big sense with Gears 4, or is it literally just kind of like they're ticking over and carrying on the story in much the same way that I think probably much the same way that like Halo 5 did with sort of on the new gen, and kind of the story was more of a continuation and the gameplay wasn't really anything massively new? Absolutely.
What they're doing is they're sort of setting up the new story. In this installment, basically, you almost go through Gears 1, 2, and 3 in Gears 4. Like, you have that core story. The whole thing feels like they are literally just sort of bringing us back in, and they're holding back. They're definitely holding back something. Okay. I can't tell you what it is, but there's something there, and I'm like, look, there is so much more this game could offer.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not quite there yet. So it really does feel like, as you say, they're just in their comfort zone. They just want to make sure they nail this, get the fan base going, get the fan base excited, get more fans, and then see where we go from there.
Okay, I mean, it sounds a little bit like, initially it sounds like we're down on it, but from what you've said, it still sounds like it's a solid game. It's not bad in any way. It's just sort of as good as Gears can be, without really mixing things up. Would you say that's about
Absolutely.
right?
No, exactly right. They're Gears of War. They know what they're doing. They've done what they know well. If you think back to the days when Gears had these browns and greys everywhere, they're all gone because they've sort of got rid of those between 2 and 3, and now 4 is right up there with all the vibrant colours. The environments you're running around in, they're all really nice to be like fighting in, which sounds really weird.
Yeah.
But it is everything that they've done, and they are, as I say, you can't say enough really. They are in this position where they don't want to rock the boat too much. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. They just want to know that it's almost like they're saying to their fans, look, here we are, we're back. We're going to do something great for you soon, but you've loved us already, so have a bit more of the stuff you love while we sort ourselves out behind the scenes.
Okay. And I mean, would you have sort of preferred something that had gone like all out and mixed it up completely, or does this sort of sit well with you and go like, okay, let's get back into it and have a Gears game on the new console?
I personally would have liked to have seen something a little bit more. I mean, I'm loving what they've done in terms of having Gears back and having Gears on the Xbox One, or the PC for those that are going to play on the PC. Mm-hmm. It's great to have it back because the gaming market at the moment is saturated with so much stuff that's similar to everything else that Gears kind of doesn't fall in that bracket. Gears is different. It's a third-person cover shooter that basically isn't really rivaled by many others. Yeah. So it's great to have that there, but I was just all the way through, especially in the campaign, I was just waiting for that one thing that made me go, yes! Gears is here, back, bang, there it is. But it didn't quite happen.
Okay.
So yeah, it's there, and I feel like it's coming, but it just didn't happen here.
Okay, so it's. I mean, if I'm brutally honest, I'm not too sure about sort of what they've said about whether this is basically going to be like a new trilogy, or whether the new story is going to start from here and continue, or I'm not too well versed in that, if I'm brutally honest, but it sounds like that's definitely what it's doing. Like this is the setup act, if you like, of sort
Absolutely.
of Act 1 of 3, for example.
That's how I would say it's certainly happened at the moment. The storyline, there's so much you kind of get dropped almost in the middle of a story at points, and you're kind of like, all right, what happened beforehand? So they hint at things and they do this, that, and the other, and you're like, well, I want to know what happened in that gap of 20 years or whatever it is, and I want to know why so and so is doing what they're doing. I'm trying to be careful that I don't give away any spoilers.
No, absolutely.
But so it feels like the story is going to escalate from here. It's ready to go further. Okay. Absolutely.
So how good a job does it do of taking like what was left at the end of 3 and Judgment, if you want to bring that into the picture, and sort of take that and push it into the new story? Does it set that up nicely and kind of go through there, or?
Well, you kind of start with like your first few missions are basically a catch up. So any time you finish a season on TV, the first episode has that little brief clip shot of everything that happened before.
Okay.
Your first few missions are a brief snapshot of this happened, and you kind of play that role of what was happening.
Cool.
And you almost see a little other side of it as well from like certain perspective while you're doing that. But yeah, it just brings you back in that way. But then, as I say, it kind of jumps, and you're like, oh, what? Why is there beef here? Who's doing that? What's going on? So. Okay,
cool. So that's the story mode. Obviously, we can't talk too much about a lot of stuff in depth for reasons of spoilers and embargoes and all the rest of it. But a lot of stuff that we can talk about is in the multiplayer. So obviously, Gears multiplayer was the staple on Xbox Live for quite a long time, and then Gears 2 introduced like Horde mode and stuff like that. So how have you found the multiplayer? I know they've had a few sessions for reviewers and devs to get used to the multiplayer and give that a good go. So
they have. So unfortunately, whilst doing the review, the getting into an online session was really difficult. I actually spent an hour one evening just ticking over, hitting go, like get me a game, and it just wouldn't find any. Okay. So I've only been able to do like the 3 hours, and that was dev-led sessions. But in that time, I'm absolutely ready for more. The versus mode was great fun to be up against other players, because when you're up against the AI, sometimes you're just a bit like, oh, okay, here we go. They're getting closer to me. I'm just gonna cut them up with my chainsaw. But obviously, when it's players attacking you, they suddenly hunt in packs a lot better or something. And you're like, oh my goodness, what is happening here? And it was really just so much better to be in and around people. You're all talking to each other. You feel more in the moment. And as I said, absolutely, I can see this being another staple, definitely.
Cool. I mean, I think that was one thing that I think people jumped on with Judgment, was that it wasn't, it didn't have that hook. But I think from the sounds of it, Horde Mode 3.0, I think they're calling it.
They are.
Yeah, I think that's gonna. I'd like to think that's gonna hook a lot of people back into Gears. From what they've spoken about already, and from what you've already told me, sort of away from the review. It sounds like they've definitely done that. So
absolutely. Horde 3.0. The big change to Gears 4, almost said Gears 3, is that you've now got this class system. So in Horde mode, everyone gets to choose who they're going to be in terms of, are you an engineer? So every team needs an engineer. They are your sort of core builder. So funny enough, they're the ones who put down the better defenses, and they can repair them. So in between waves, they're the one who use the energy that you actually collect as you kill enemies.
Okay.
Every class, I should mention, is it's one that you can level up. So if you sort of really like the engineer and you want to play a lot of the engineer, the more you get through, the better perks and the better unlocks you get for the engineer. So there are 5 classes in total. When I was playing, I was a scout, so I had bonuses in speed and melee, so I could actually get out into the fray when the wave was starting to die down a bit, and collect all the energy from dropped enemies so that we could deposit that back in the fabricator for the engineer.
Okay.
What else did you have? You had the heavy. So they are good at basically taking down other heavies. You get the bonuses for the bigger weapons and just generally the bigger enemies. You want your heavies to take them on.
Cool.
Your soldier, he's the bread and butter gear. Literally, if you've played Gears of War and you play a soldier, they'll be the same guy. He's the all-rounder, ready to try and do mostly damage. Really, he's just there to protect and take everyone on. And then you've got the sniper, so they're good with the long shot. They get better headshot percentages and all that sort of stuff.
Sweet. Okay, absolutely. So I mean, it sounds like they've done enough to mix that up that'll at least get people to get invested and play a lot of Gears multiplayer again. So
absolutely, and the first time through with the dev team and a couple of others. Unfortunately, my mic broke, which was a little bit annoying.
Oh no.
Yeah, but we got to level wave 30.
Okay.
And instantly, just getting through. That was on normal, so the difficulty spike is going to be there. And granted, a lot of us were beginners, so insane is going to be right up there when we're ready to take it on. But I'm ready for more. I want to get back in. I want to take it down. I was like, wave 30. I feel like a noob. I want to go back in there as soon as I can.
Awesome. So I mean, it sounds like they've done, in terms of the multiplayer, they've definitely mixed that up enough. The single player seems like it's very good, but very Gears, sort of very functional.
Yes.
But overall, as a package, if you're a Gears fan, what would you say? Pick it up, leave it for a bit, or?
As a Gears fan, I would definitely say you're going to want to play it.
Okay.
In terms of, I hadn't even thought about leaving it for a bit. There I was all like, bang, yeah, go get it straight away. But then I was like, hang on, you could leave it for a bit, I guess. But no, do you know what? If you're Gears, you're going to love it. So just get out there, go grab it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you ever so much for joining me, man. And we will, we'll see you guys soon. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that cool stuff. Follow us on all the social media and check out pretty much everything that we've done recently, because there's been a ton of stuff go up fairly recently. So we will see you again soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.